Biafra restoration project is on course. It remains sacrosanct. It is irreversible, and no amount of force can dampen nor quench the ingenuity and the resilience of the indomitable Biafran spirit.
Land of the rising sun, we love and cherish. Beloved homeland of our brave heroes. We must defend our lives or we shall perish. We shall protect our hearts from all our foes. But if the price is death for all, held to be Biafra, consecrated nation. Oh, fatherland, this be our solemn pledge. Defending peace shall be a dedication. Spilling our blood we count a privilege. The waving standard which emboldens the free shall always be a flag of liberty. We shall emerge triumphant from this ordeal, and through the crucible unscathed we'll pass. When we are poised, the wounds of battle to heal, we shall remember those who died in mass. Then shall our trumpets build the glorious song of victory. We scarred our minds around. Oh God, protect us from the hidden pitfall. Guide all our movement lest we go astray. Give us the strength to heed the humanist call, to give and not to count their cost each day. Bless those who rule to serve with resoluteness, to make this climb a land of righteousness.
Inye aka nke si n'eluigwe bịa, ọ bụ inye aka gị ga-anapụta anyị n'ọnọdụ anyị nwetara onwe anyị n'ime Naịjirịa taa. Ndị na-enweghị karịrị ndị nwere ndụ. Ọ bụghị mmadụ niile na-ezu ohi. Ọ bụ ọnọdụ a ka Izrel nọ mgbe Hosea na-ebu amụma. Mgbe mmadụ na-enweghị ike ịrapịọm beresọ maọbụ onye ohi maọbụ onye ohi. Ndị ọrụ na-arụ ọrụ anaghị akwụ ha ụgwọ. Chineke mere anyị ebere. Ọnọdụ anyị taa o juru m anya rie m ọnụ, ebe nwanne na-ere nwanne ya o nyere anyị aka. Anụrụ m ọnụ nke na-asị guzoro Chukwu dabe dabere onye isi aga ọnọdụ anyị taa o juru m anya rie m ọnụ ebe nwanne na-ere nwanne ya ụwa shiri dabere onye isi aga ụwa shiri achọpụtago m ihe ọtụ mmadụ ji aghọ sacrifice na-enweghị aka ọrụ ọzọ da na ịkọ aka ebe a na-achọta ga-esiri apịọm ọtụ mmadụ wee ghazie otu igbo na-etiri ma ndị ohi ma ndị ama ka e wee rie ihe Chineke mere ụmụ ya ebere nyere anyị aka eluigwe nyere anyị aka eluigwe nyere anyị aka ịpụrụ inye aka anụrụ m ọnụ nke na-asị guzoro Chukwu guzoro onye isi aga anụrụ m ọnụ nke na-asị dabere Chukwu ọ dị ihe ọ na-apụghị ime Father, hear my cry. Heavenly Father, hear my call. Don't let the naira win it all, Lord. Don't let the naira take it all. Our naira will charge me, I'm afraid. The downtrodden will suffer too much. They will be marginalized more and more. They can never win any case. They don't even have money enough to eat, let alone for litigation. Oh God, deliver your people.
There is only one indigenous broadcaster championing the cause for the restoration of Biafra. Biafra Human Rights Radio. Of course, unstoppable and remains the beacon of truth. It has been so since yesterday, and it is today.
Lovers of freedom, men and women of goodwill, conscientious people wherever you are all over the world. As always, I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and to some of you good night, depending on your time zone. This is Radio Biafra Extra, and we are streaming live through Biafra Human Rights and Freedom Radio Station. Biafra Human Rights and Freedom Radio Station, I will say in a simple term, is powered by the de facto customary government of Biafra. And of course, is being anchored by Diokpa Uche Ukafomefo. Diokpa Uche Ukafomefo is from Abatete. Abatete is in Anambra State, and Anambra State is Biafra land. Diokpa Uche Ukafomefo is the man who has simply assured us that he will not allow the heart of this project to see corruption. And I want to believe by now, progressive-minded Biafrans across the globe are beginning to see the essence of not allowing the heart of this project to see corruption. And of course, you are getting the mindset already. By the grace of the Almighty Creator, I remain George Onyibe. I come from Agbo. Agbo is in Anioma province. Anioma province is in Delta State. And every piece of land in Delta State is Biafra land. And of course, our hearts are heavy. Our pain more painful than you can imagine. For indeed, we see the truth. We see the art of manipulation. And we just cannot get back. But we will fight in the shade. We will engage every detractor in every corner. And we will make sure we live a clean state that will give pride and honor to the next generation after we are gone. I will move on to acknowledge Chief Raphael Owazirike, referred to as the father of the new nation, for the sacrifice you have made in time past. For at this moment we now see Tina Sibu in charge of Homeland Affairs. We have Masuchu Mefo in charge of Communication and Information. We have Mwenyinya. We have Mazingo Kinkwo. We have Dr. Okado. We have Mazu Bidio Binu. We have Zurumba. We have Mbadike. And of course, under this de facto customary government, at this moment we have clearly defined 3 platforms, in which are the implementation committee, the advisory body, and of course the interim parliament. All of I will move on to the members of Biafra Nation. And those of you watchmen, our European reps, we acknowledge you, Mazi Chimezie, the spokesperson. We acknowledge all of you, our administrators in Biafra land. We acknowledge you. It is not yet very clear the next level of navigation, the next level of turning. But you stand tall with pride, defending the issue of Biafra. All the pro-Biafran group who are involved in this quest, this morning, this evening rather, I will make you understand that genuine Biafrans appreciate you. By the grace of the Almighty Creator, I will, as a matter of protocol, acknowledge the indigenous people of Nnamdi Kanu. I call them the indigenous people of Nnamdi because they are not the indigenous people of Biafra. It is unfair and very unfortunate if with the level of your education and exposure you cannot see that the activity of IPOB zombies led by Nnamdi Kanu is actually imposing on our people a very threatening danger. But don't worry, we will clear this issue. The only thing Nnamdi Kanu followers know cussing out everybody. That is what they do. And the point is that these people, that is why they are doing what they are doing. But it will dawn on all of them. You can imagine at this stage, Nnamdi Kanu brother has joined the saboteur, but he will not be admitted. The same IPOB, the zombies manufactured by Nnamdi Kanu. And of course, as people of conscience, we are prayerfully, systematically, will of principle, doing our best to help them. If you are on my platform this evening and you're trying to talk rubbish, don't you see I don't delete your post? Because I know soon you will weep you never did all these things. Don't you see your comments are always there? It's a shame. All you claim you are, look at you, what you have reduced yourself to in the name of fighting for Biafra. The very Biafra you people know nothing about. I acknowledge you, go ahead and call some more recruit. Chinas and Wuru should be there to do the needful. And this having been said, I thank all the nations around the world who are ready to give us the necessary support in advance when the time comes. I thank those who are able to review our case. And of course, you are a sympathizer to this cause. We are not asking for what is too much. We're simply asking that you give to us what belongs to us. It is as simple as ABCD, that we may be the author of our destiny. And of course, we do not know where this road will lead us to. But we will be here till the end. This is a promise. And I will acknowledge the Creator, He who has set our feet upon this path that we must follow. For without Him we are gone as a people. He is the lifting up of our head, our hope and stay. He is our God in wisdom, knowledge and understanding. He remained the primordial influence that drives us. And now you understand why it is of utmost importance that we acknowledge Him. Nari ekele o, nari ekele, nari ekele o Baba, nari ekele, eze Chukwu, nari ekele o, nari ekele. Ise. And of course, like every other day, we'll move ahead into our topic this evening, which is simply titled 5 categories, or rather some categories of self-inflicted war that we must fight. People do not understand what is happening. To some, they think this agitation ends on the pages of newspaper, and then maybe in your WhatsApp group, and then sometime in your Facebook, and then Twitter accounts. We have 5 main, it's more than 5, but we have 5 categories of self-inflicted war that the people of Biafra must fight. And I hope you are ready. The people of Biafra has fought so many wars on different location, time and atmosphere without their knowledge. Some people do not know that we are at war within ourselves. To them, they think it's game as usual. And I hope after this message, which will come in series, that you will be able to prepare yourself for what is to come. We'll fight to survive economic strangulation. You are from different fronts. We are fighting to survive economic strangulation. If we sincerely go as produced, we are all Biafrans. And then along the line, Ahmadu Bello couldn't bear it. From that day, the journey of economic war, of economic emasculation started. He said, the Igbo man, when you put him in any camp, he will work very hard to emerge as a leader. And then before I came here, my people had not been able to live up to their responsibility. And now we will make sure that they will not be employed anywhere. If, for instance, we need any job and we do not have anybody to do it, we will employ the expatriate, which is the owner of Nigeria, the British. And if no Briton can do the job, and then we will do it ourselves or give it to other black. And that was the first unveiling, that we have to fight the war to survive the onslaught of economic strangulation. And just like they said, they started. They removed our people from civil service. Most of you don't even remember that anymore. And then we were compelled into buying and selling. We were never honored for anything good that we have done. Until this morning, the enemies of economic strangulation we have to fight is greatly increasing, because IPOB punk, IPOB pigs, they are now part of the people bringing the war of economic strangulation for our people. Now, maybe you begin to get it. We'll fight to survive political marginalization. Most people do not even understand. If the universal adult suffrage right is not respected, if the Nigerian state through the INEC can deliberately disenfranchise us, if it is the Sudan of Sokoto that endorse who rule us, If the people of Imo can be denied access from Ihedioha, and then you have Uzodema, without apology, the programs or the plans that have been melted out, this should make you understand that there is a war ongoing. And if you do not know the nature of war, I doubt if you can be able to fight in order to prevail. Yes, I must remind us tonight that we are fighting against indirect rules and policies. For over 50 years, policies has been made and formulated to the detriment of our people. Our land is still under military occupation, and you simply cannot do anything. And so somewhere along the line, we just have to believe miracle will happen one day. But I remind you, brethren, tonight, that God will not do for man what man should do for themselves. There were these eras of crocodile smile, crocodile tears. There were this era where they talk about ego eye and so on, different of military exercise, Python Dance 1 to Season 2, and so on. This is war, but most of you do not know, because at the pages of the newspaper and the media, they do the real battle. Tonight, I will make you remember that we fight against harassment, intimidation, and of course, the indiscriminate killing of our people. They are too numerous. But on this series, I want us to consider just 5. And I can only pray that God will open the eyes of your understanding, that you might be able to behold the wondrous truth in his words. All of these battles are not of our own making. We did not introduce them. We did not teach them. They were brought upon us. But let us have it in mind that somewhere, somehow, and someday, we will have to take a stand, either to submit or to stand against it in its totality. And of course, at this moment, let us consider some of these self-inflicted war that we must fight. We must fight to the end. We must fight to the finish. We must fight till it's all over. And so we look at the first war front, the media war. As far as the Nigerian is concerned, they tactically unleash information that not only have the ability to dent our image, it also have the capacity to keep us on a defensive angle all our lives. No matter the atrocity of the Nigerian state being committed against the people of Biafra, the highest thing our political leaders can do is to be defending themselves and looking for how to appease the Fulani and the British government controlled Nigeria. Because through the media, they can make people believe what you are doing is either good or bad. And of course, based on your ability of reasoning, based on your experience or encounter as a Biafran or Nigerian at large, you can buy it easily. Today, the Nigerian state are gradually trying to tell you that Biafra agitators are criminal. They want you to believe that we do not mean good for you. They take a bit of truth, then they augment it with lies, and eventually it becomes a white lie. And it is acceptable by everyone. But I will remind you that the ongoing war already is not that of the Nigerian media blackmail. If you want to check the most undoing weapon that was used against the generation of 1960 to 1970, you will see the highest is the media blockage. And today, we are not just fighting this media war with the Nigerian state. IPOB is taking the lead. Of course, zombies who were busy on social media telling you, oh, everybody comply, there were complications, yes, our leader even in prison, yes, we are in charge. But they never told you that Ogidi people protested and they said they don't want anything to do with sit at home. They did not tell you that most communities in Imo State outrightly came out to demonstrate against the supposedly sit at home. But they are just busy there. Oh, yes, we obey you. We are formidable. Next month, we are continuing. And each of these, they have compromised the whole system. The world understand they can judge you locally and as well as internationally. We have labored to build IPOB to the level of international standard. And I can tell you that with the character being exhibited by indigenous people of Nnamdi Kanu, there is no moral individual, there is no moral organization, there is no NGO, opinion molders or leaders of thought, multinational companies across the globe, or any nation of interest will be very confident to associate with us in a time like this. Because eventually we have become dog eat dog. You can imagine since the absence of IPONC leader Nnamdi Kanu, just check very well. It will amaze you. Every day they are talking about money. ESM accounts. And now, ESM accounts. ESM account. Help ESM. I tell you, the ESM you are hearing of the unknown gunmen, the population of those who are left are not even up to 30. But I tell you that they will employ more people. Because of the absence of this media in our interior communities, many youth will be misled. And like Nnamdi Kanu will say, I salute those of you who are about to die because of this Nnamdi Kanu gangster of DOS lies. Because in your mind you think you are fighting for Biafra, your fatherland, but you don't know your father. How could you possibly tell me that is what your father wants you to do? And so IPOB media will not let you see that things went wrong. They were burning their own people. They were killing their own people just to show them love. You are the one who is supposed to die. Because the true love for people, the Bible says, for there is no greater love than this, that a man should lay down his life for his people. And you love us, and you send us to the slaughter like a sheep. Don't you see that God so loved the world, he has to kill his son? He didn't kill us to prove his love. And so each time you are there, undermining the civil rights of any Biafran, because you want to boost your ego, I will tell you, war has started already. And of course, we are looking at the first one, which is the media war. It is selective in their report, and they took advantage of it. And those time Nnamdi Kanu was telling you, go out of WhatsApp, go out of this one. We will do our community app. That is where he wanted to finish all of you. But that is war. And take like 7 broadcasters and listen to what they are telling you. You see that they are cashing on your emotion. You see that they want you to feel that something is happening, whereas nothing is happening. But their word is actually coordinated to keep your brain dormant. And that is why, with high level of sophisticated, educated individuals, Biafrans across the globe, they are playing fool's game. Let's go back a little bit and take the position of World Igbo Congress. That name itself speaks volume. But now the character of those who represent that is stupid. For you to come out and you support IPOB openly, you're supporting IPOB is a noble thing. But because of your selfish interests, you thought Biafra is coming today. So they say, Awadibo Congress did something. That is where you failed the mark. Where is Reverend Father Ngongo? I thought we have a Laibu Development Forum. I thought we have Ohaneze Ndibo. I will advise all of you once again. Be careful what you do, because the war has already begun. And somewhere along the line, will you still be very proud of your actions this day? Narratives. Cash on your emotion. Yes, we must defend our land. I can tell you that as much as it is hard for me to say it, I must tell you that IPOB led by Nnamdi Kanu has killed more of our people, Biafrans, have betrayed more of our Biafrans than the Nigerian state. I cannot come out here and lie to any of you, because I stand to gain nothing. I am working in an atmosphere where I am a stranger. Yes, I fight war on daily basis in atmosphere where I am alien. But I tell you, we will fight this fight to the end. That the next generation of Biafra may understand that we still have principled men and women out there. They want to change the narratives. Hey, this one is sending me, this one is sending me. Just look at what is happening in IPOB. Who is speaking for who? The war has started already. Twitter handle. And then I hope you are seeing recruit. And now there is a war, or media war ongoing between Nnamdi Kanu family, China Sanwo-Olu cabal, and the ignorant baboon in the DOS of IPOB. But you people are not seeing it yet. The we are formidable. This one will come, a constant canonta. That thing you people did to us, it will come back to you. All of you. Now, let me tell you what you do not understand, or what you easily forget about. My message is not to handle you. It's not to make Biafrans feel bad. I'm just trying to point this issue so that you cannot be part of them. And that is like when the Bible says, separate ye yourself from them. These are sons of perdition. Sons of perdition. You must, but you have a choice to make. If, for instance, Kanonta misbehaved, I want to believe it was moral enough for the charge and bail lawyer, Chike Doziem, to seek the attention of Kanonta and say, as a matter of procedures, what you are doing is wrong. And then let hatred conquer that love. But of course, IPOB is not human. Nnamdi can only treat you, train you to be stupid. And so you have become an animal. And that is why we say this station is for human being. In a way of digressing to portray my point, this radio is for human beings who are still Nigeria. It is for human beings who are still Biafran, Arewa, Ududua. This is where you have your say in our say. But of course, you must keep it within the definition of human. And so what are they supposed to do? They jump up and down and dishonor Nnamdi Kanu by dishonoring his brother. Do you know the game they played during our era? Thank God Mazimefo was there. He managed everything till Nnamdi Kanu came. Do you know how many people fine boy did Yahoo? And so for you to come out and you jumping up and down, is it love? Is it all of you are deceiving yourself? Nnamdi Kanu may have placed some, induce some falsehood in the system that will make all of you to be fighting yourself. And then when he comes out, if he comes out, he will now become your God, settling all of you. but you are still a recruit. So go ahead and do. And so they're busy changing the narratives. And the level your brain is now is that if they come out now and say, let's go and join Nigeria, all of you will join. Whatever they say, because you have lost your sense of belonging, sense of purpose. And we weep for you. And so this war is ongoing. We come out every day, we'll continue to broadcast. You do not know men and women out there who are in pain, making sure that this generation, this group of Nnamdi Kanu, does not destroy all that is left of us. But we'll get there. Number 2, the real Nigerian war. We are in a war front with Nigeria. Most of you don't know. We have not been able to, it is not very clear who Nnamdi Kanu is working for. Could it be PDP? Could it be APC? Could it be government? You need to take time and go and listen to the broadcast of Kanu before now. You see, his current action contradicts everything. In one of his audio, he said, I do not want to fight for a Biafra where you have contrary opinion, they kill you. But then, till this very moment, he's the one fighting, killing everybody with contrary opinion. As far as Nnamdi Kanu perceive you as having a diverged view, he attacks you. Once people pay attention on you, he attacks you. And so what I'm saying in effect on that second point is that Nigerians take advantage of all this situation to strike. IPOB pigs are jumping up and down. Hey, a non-gunmen, yes, so ESM. And meanwhile, they don't have catapult. And when they are done boasting, somewhere along the line, Nigerians take advantage and kill our people. And now your ghost town every Monday will not work. But it will send so much Igbo to their untimely grave. And most of you can't see it. You still be rejoicing. Oh, there will be, there will be. I thought by now Nigeria will release Nnamdi Kanu. I thought after this 100% compliance of sit at home in Biafra land, that by now they will be running helter-skelter to bring the God into the court. But you don't have sense, IPOB members. You don't have sense. And of course, those of you who are observing, you have sense, because that is what you should do now. It's unfortunate. This is a war. We have not said much about Nnamdi Kanu since his disappearance, because we want to be able to price the consequence of our next action in order not to jeopardize everything we are doing. But you will see the truth. Nnamdi Kanu is the one who come on air. Our boys and your Hajibima are doing like that, and then Nigerian goes there. Nnamdi Kanu go to his stage, but he start calling people's names, setting people up. And you see, why all of you working within Nnamdi Kanu will lose this war is that your hands are not clean. You have practically violated your conscience just to prove a point that does not exist. And now you see, this is a war. Nigerians work very hard to infiltrate the system. And most IPOB members who are the zombies, I call them zombies, because they are treading on a path they know nothing about. Do you know how Raphael Owazurike was arrested? It is true infiltration of Mozob. In fact, in one of those arrests of DSS when they arrested me, of course, they will always try to buy you off. They said we would like you to be working for us. You can be giving us vital information of your activities. And how do you say to that? I did not answer because I want to be very sure of my next word. And then they brought a man to me. He's an Igbo man. I think he's from Anambra. I do not know his name. But before then, he was the head of DSS internal activities. He was promoted. And another DSS man told me, this man you are seeing was the one who led us to arrest Chief Raphael Owazurike. He pretended to be a youth copper, and then he got close to Chief Raphael Owazurike. And Chief Raphael Owazurike loved him like a brother, loved him like he loved Nnamdi Kanu, not knowing that that same Igbo brother is an agent. And then the DSS man told me, I was not there. And so Raphael Owazurike and those who know should know I'm saying the truth. That they were in a meeting, unknown to them, the guy had set them up. The DSS was everywhere. And he brought out his pistol and beloved them. That was how they arrested Chief Raphael Owazurike. That is infiltration. There is war there. Nnamdi Kanu, if he was sensible enough, if he had sense, he should know that all the people he used to surround himself don't like him. When we talk about him, some people think, oh, he hates him, you are jealous. No. We just cannot comprehend how supposedly enlightened and intelligent the most educated black man on earth can be this naive. That is what we don't understand. We saw it, that everybody around Nnamdi Kanu, they don't love him. But maybe he had a part with some of them. And so he was compelled to become an idiot that he is. You may not accept it now, but sooner or later you will accept it. It's unfortunate. And so there is a war of infiltration. Who would believe, for instance, that Nnamdi Kanu sent Solomon Ebu into Biafra Nation Alliance to infiltrate us, get information? Some of them are still in the platform. But of course, we have the power of mutation. And the mindset of improvisation at all time is always activated within us. I don't like to complain against people. When Solomon Egbu, I shouldn't even mention his name, but he's a Mugu, so that you people know what he has done. I noticed this guy was not, something was wrong about him, but I kept quiet. In the forum, he hit our heads together. When he addressed me, even as the head officer, and of course the Secretary General of the de facto customary government, at least today, he talks down on me. And some people will emboss me and say, you have a problem with this guy. I say, no. But it was too early to complain, and I gave him time. He's the one who told us how Nnamdi Kanu use his account to siphon Biafran money. He may be listening. And then we registered Biafra Nation, and they thought they had us under control, and he moved on. But we improvised. That frustration is still killing all of them till today. That is the war. But most of you don't know. It's just like Jesus said, not all those who call you Lord and Master, not all of them meant it. It's just a lip service. People call, people who have genuine contribution. But I begin to define people by the mindset you have. I judge your actions. I try to find out the mindset behind your actions. This is how we value people. And of course, under the Nigerian real war that we are engaged in, you have judicial assassination of our interest. So you can imagine, it will blow your mind to know the number of Biafrans who are locked up in different prison cells across Nigeria. And the beautiful thing there is that this love of Biafra within us, I think it does turn us to fool, because it propels us to give undying support and loyalty to this cause. They won't care for you. Nenanyana will collect the tennis money. Barrister Jaffa and Aloy Jimako are there to rip you off through legal money, and you think you are fighting for Biafra. We have seen evil in IPOB, and if I may have to refresh your mind, I was, as before I was expelled, the longest serving principal officer in IPOB, one of them. I was a member of this gangster called DOS. And I have served in more than 9 offices at the same time. And I can say I've given more than all of you, or rather most of you, to be fair. And today, if I stand on this position, having been to 2 different shrines, inclusive of Aruchuku and the old people, if you are normal, don't you think you would believe me? Don't you think so? That Nnamdi Kanu is just the opposite of what he says. But your love for Biafra has blinded you. And now look at where you are. And so why I'm bringing it up is, when I was arrested, these people did not ask of me. From the reliable information I have, they wrote the first petition, which was never submitted. Because after 30 days, the person who handles my case in the DSS said, your people did not submit any paper. They didn't make any appeal. They did not write. And as such, my matter cannot be looked into. And then somewhere, somehow, I was able to move out information from the DSS custody. And I won't say that for the sake of those who are there. And that was when they filed another petition demanding for my release. And the day I was supposed to be brought to the court, Amarachi gave them wrong date. And the Kanu sister gave IPOB wrong date. But then I am knowledgeable about the modus operandi of IPOB. And blessed memory, late Chimubi Okafo, I was able to send a message across to my family, and then they contacted Chimubi, and Chimubi went defendant, criminals everywhere. He told Amarachi, they are bringing Judge Onyibe to the court this morning in the presence of Nnamdi Kanu. And he said, no, we are the legal team. You cannot get involved. You cannot get involved. That is not your department. And of course, you know, Chimubi Okafo is not a soft meat for you to chew. And Chimubi said, but I'm telling you, I have reliable information that Judge Onyibe is in the court. And that was when Nnamdi Kanu interfered and said, what is there? And they now say, okay, Chimubi, go and check. But I know the plan of DSS for me. And then it beat their imagination that every IPOB person in Port Harcourt already knew I was in court. It was not convenient for them to misplace me anymore. Because the more you stay in detention, the more Amarachi, the more, and point of correction, Amarachi is an auxiliary nurse. She abandoned the auxiliary nurse when he saw the money in IPOB. And so you don't think they are lawyer or they are anything, criminals. And of course, The more they detain us, the more Amarachi takes transport fare, logistics, and procurement on top of your head. Don't you see our supposedly Biafran lawyers now? Their courtroom is on Facebook. Can't you see that? And that was how I came out. It is a woman from Calabari, but I won't give further details, who stood their ground to see that woman. Not IPOB, they were shocked. And now with all these things I know, we believe that it's bound to happen. We just have to keep fighting. And so when we say we are judicially assassinated, it's those principles from within and without. And then the people of Biafra cannot see this. Over 10,000 IPOB members. 2 maximum prison in Port Harcourt alone is the home of over 300s. Not to talk of Imo State, not to talk of Ebonyi State, not to talk of Enugu State, not to talk of Delta State, not to talk of Anambra State. This is war. It depends on your definition of war, but we continue fighting. And of course, on this second category, we will go to the third one. There are 5 of them. We will look at the third one, then tomorrow we continue from the rest. But what I'm trying to point out in a non-share is for you not to shield your sword for any reason. You must make sure that your medulla oblongata is functional. Everybody is a suspect in a time like this. But I think I have a more most of you ran. You were being paid and I was never paid. Most of you were cared for, but I was not. But of course, I remain grateful to those men and women those days who calls me and said, I just wonder how you survive. And then they show me love. Generation after generation, the people you know nothing about show love to your offspring. For Jesus said, when I was hungry, you gave me to eat. When I was thirsty, you gave me to drink. When I was homeless, you accepted me into your home. And I was naked, you clothed me. Now, seeing that you have done this to the least of the brethren, you have done that for me. Biafrans, thank you anyway. And of course, we go to the last, the third one, of course, not the last but not the least for this segment. We have the category of self-inflicted war. Self-inflicted war. It has already begun. It is very dangerous, and it can take everything that we represent in the end. Now, when you look at the order that is being decimated from the platform or stable of IPOB, let me open your eye a little bit. At this moment in IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu does not have a say anymore. If you think Nigerians are going to leave Nnamdi Kanu, think again. And I'm very sure they are working on his clone. Because if he was able to decode that Buhari was cloned, they are going to clone Nnamdi Kanu. And of course, you know, the Nnamdi Kanu will follow the initial stage. It's not this Nnamdi Kanu that is arrested. And so he doesn't have a say. The next one, they become Nigeria. He's technically in Kenya. And you people can't reason. If it were Nigeria who say Boko Haram have been technically defeated, he say but Nnamdi Kanu is technically in Kenya. For Nnamdi Kanu in-law, some of you spiritual father to come out and tell you that you interfere in IPOB issue. For Chike Dozie and Tony Nzurumike and the rest of them be fighting each other. Every broadcaster, there is something you don't know yet. It's just as simple as that. We are looking at the third category, self-inflicted war. The war we brought upon ourselves. And now, that war is going to range. Orders will be given. And some of you will think it's Nnamdi Kanu. The DOS has finally hijacked IPOB. And do you know who is that DOS? It's China Sanguru. When they say go stand, it's China Sanguru. Honestly, it's a heartless and brutal man. From the day he joined the struggle till today, he has very devilish, wicked intentions. When he was issuing order for people to be buried alive, when he was issuing order and allowing members of Lion Squad to rape mother and daughter, when they tried to bury Ojukwu alive, when they took Mo and Indune Soku, senatorial coordinators, to bury them alive, when they almost killed Chijoke Otaji, when they poisoned Chimobi Okafo, when they beat up Madam Social, when they injured Chinasa with all this, he said it's Onyendu. And then I begin to wonder, what does he tell Onyendu? And why will he do that? I never agree with them. That is where I have my problem. When 98 coordinators were removed, because Benjamin Madubugu owes Anambra. And those of you who know what Obasi said about Nnamdi Kanu, in collaboration with Benjamin Madubugu, do not be surprised that if Nnamdi Kanu entered Biafra land today, he will be assassinated with all these criminals who are holy idiot Okano. They will be assassinated because you people don't know anything. The system that is built in the palm of our hand, the system will know how they function, the system that we are the custodians of all the intels they have. What am I trying to say? The order coming from IPOB is not from Nnamdi Kanu. Those of you who love Nnamdi Kanu, open your eyes very well. These are brutal men. They will lead all of you to untimely death. You will not be remembered. Your family will not be compensated. And it will look as if you died for your sin in the end. They do not have human feeling. They have hijacked the already. Some of these broadcasters know. Kanonta knows. They will turn all of you against the family of Nnamdi Kanu. That is the first takeover. Because if Nnamdi Kanu was sincere, his auntie should not be head of finance. His brother should not be vice president of Biafra land. His other one is in charge of security. And then the other cousin is auditor and the rest of it. You are going to give order. And you think you're doing it for Nnamdi Kanu. Go and check closely. For the DOS to be attacking Kanonta, I can tell you they know who betrayed Nnamdi Kanu, and that is if Nnamdi Kanu is betrayed. We're trying to consider the self-inflicted. It comes in this instance. We have created a lot of orphans. Under Biafra agitation, we have created a lot of orphans, widows, widowers, jobless people. You have no idea. About early last week, a woman called me and said, My son, I called to thank you. Do you still remember me? I said, no, ma. He said, anyway, I don't have much credit. But I just called, I remembered you now. And I said, let me call you. I am the woman you saved his son. Thank you for saving my son. And the call dropped. And if many other people who IPOB abandoned, that we were not out of love, we were not as a matter of duty standing in the gap, can you resist or withstand their venom? But I begin to remind you, the enemies IPOB have created for ourselves, among ourselves. This is war. Some of you who go about threatening people, doing all these things, Biafrans will recognize you, they will know you. And when this war will backfire, I'm sorry for all of you. And so you must be careful what you are doing. You must be very careful. A brother in River State then, with Ahamefuna, gifted gift, they put their business on the line to raise certain funds, which we used to introduce some program that ultimately made them to move Nnamdi Kanu, the first arrest, to Kuje prison. Most of you don't know. We said we were going to refund this money. Till today, they did not refund this money. They are standing by. China Sanguru and gangster DOS, Benjamin Madubugu, and the other criminals in IPOB. You made so many open enemy. You made so many open enemy. And that's what will range one way or the other. And I know you are ready for it. But let us pray. This battle should be on a battleground of our own choosing. General Miracle is there. What of Abraham of Imo State? What about Mustafa? What about Onyibe? Have you people killed him? What about Bright? What about all that you people have betrayed? Okay, you think you rant on radio and that is the end of it? You can try to redefine the agitation to Igbo agitation, but you lie. Igodo Migodo is Biafra. All of us are Biafra. And so the earlier you begin to lock down Igodo Migodo land, the earlier you begin to lock down the kingdom of Ogiso, the earlier you begin to lock down the kingdom of Osazakpo inside your Biafra, the better for you. Look at you. John never started. He done the run. You done the talk who be Biafra and who no be Biafra. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate how people can see. And so all those people you have hurted, all those people you have dealt with, do you think they are keeping quiet? They are waiting for the right time to strike. Don't worry. We look at the next one under that same category. The people you have blackmailed. You think they are keeping quiet? Their children and family members, you think they are there? John Chukwuma have been locked up almost close to 2 years now, or a year and 8 months. He was betrayed by Nnamdi Kanu. Nnamdi Kanu removed him, replaced him with his mortal enemy, Kenjika. You know, they know how to set us up. Remove Niger Delta man, for instance, you replace him with Niger Delta man. The moment they could not have any tangible evidence against me to justify their blackmail and setting me up, and then they rose up the witch of Massachusetts, Josephine Erewa, the sick old woman somewhere in America. And I was shouting, I can't take it anymore. I